Arun Pai is in some. So
Got
Arun Pai is in some dead zone. He said, "Let me look at it tomorrow and revert."
Sure.
Another person, Vishnu Agnihotri, he was taking photographs in his camera. He said, "Okay, let me look at my old pictures on Sunday and see if I can." So lots of people are there, and they are all happy to be able to talk to you or contribute. So I think it is a good thing that you have rekindled some old ideas, and that way I think you will also meet some very interesting people. I was just thinking, all of these people are
Mm.
really interesting people. So when you talk to them, maybe you will find some of them worthy of a separate conversation also.
Absolutely, absolutely, Pankaj. It was actually starting as an experiment to start with, and with these
Hmm.
AI tools of Claude and Notebook LM, uh,
Hmm.
makes it so easy to write a book, Pankaj.
So
So
tell me something. Right now, you were saying that the raw material was the playlist in the YouTube. So how do you ingest that playlist in some Claude, or what is the process that you are following? How does it work?
I use Notebook LM.
Acha.
I input all the YouTube around 44, 45 videos across the.
Hmm.
There are actually more than 90 videos of your playlist. So at this point,
Right.
only 40 videos. I put it on Notebook LM. And then
Ah.
I asked Claude to give me the prompts. So
Oh.
initially, when I started off, I gave the context to Claude saying that this is exactly what I want to write.
Hmm.
All of the material in terms of YouTube videos, and we can also add PDFs, the PDF which you send, right?
Ah,
And
ah, ah, ah.
all the material is dumped onto Notebook LM. And
I will send you more such
please,
written PDF, written thing. I didn't realize that you can put that also. I have many other articles from
sure.
newspaper and other sources. So after this call, I will send you more this thing also. Anyway, good.
Prompt basically is from Claude, and then it takes the dump from Notebook LM. And
Hmm.
Claude actually does the entire work of creating the book, the context, and how it should be. So we basically should give the exact what we actually wanted in terms of do you want it more of narrative style, a story style, or do you want it to be a philosophy side? So all of the inputs I give it to Claude, and it actually generates the entire story.
So I actually have a WhatsApp group with myself only,
Hmm.
which says notes to myself.
Hmm.
So in that WhatsApp place, I store all these videos that you record or someone else record,
Hmm.
any article someone has written. Maybe someone will write a LinkedIn post about my talk or something that I find interesting. So
Yes.
all of that is stored in that WhatsApp group. So I will now scan that and maybe send you many of the text also, because it has videos, of course, but it has many text also. So maybe
Perfect.
that can be ingested and see what comes out of it.
Perfect. I just started just before the call looking at your LinkedIn comments, post, and stuff like that. So trying to ingest that here. But I think whatever you
So
have,
I actually will have very few LinkedIn. It will be some other someone wrote something to me or whatever.
hmm,
Because LinkedIn is hard to ingest. There are so many mentions that I get, so I don't even know
hmm,
where I am and all that. So maybe there is a way to ingest it from LinkedIn directly if possible. But
sure,
LinkedIn, I will have a very few, not too many, because there are so many mentions that I get. So I don't know which one to share, capture.
sure, Pankaj. So for now, I've got 14
But
questions.
this is a good use of technology also to see how you are able to ingest such diverse data so quickly
Yeah.
and come up with something. So for me, it's also a fascinating AI experiment, the field that I am into. Say now, book writing can become, or autobiography writing also can become very easy.
Absolutely, Pankaj. Absolutely. Um,
Uh. You can become a autobiography writer after this. So say, you know what, if you want one, here's a sample. I've just done this one in few days. I can do it for you. A separate line of business. No, because I do think that this also has some skill set. Now you are developing prompts,
yeah.
developing data sources, developing the art of asking questions. So I don't think anyone can do it. So I don't know. Sometimes some things which are not done before can become the new idea, because you have been anyway doing coaching and all. But
Mm,
this also summarizing people's, I mean, what is an autobiography? It is basically summarizing, helping people summarize their own life lessons, right?
absolutely.
I don't think anyone, most people will never write an autobiography because it's so hard, na? And
Yes.
they also don't know what they have learned, what they've done. But
Mm,
if you think about it, it's a very meaningful thing for anyone, if not for other people, at least for their kids or their immediate family also, right?
mm,
What,
mm.
imagine if your papa had one autobiography that has given to you, which you can go give to your kids also, so the grandchildren can read.
Yeah.
Right now, they have only accessed grandfather when they spoke to him, two,
Mm,
three nice things they said, and they will remember it.
correct.
What if they have a book? So I'm just thinking of another idea where using technology, you can pass this knowledge management can go to other people also.
Sure, Pankaj, absolutely. So I've got 14 questions for now, Pankaj.
Hmm, hmm,
So it's asking for a context also. The first one is the origin story, the first chapter. It says
hmm.
it needs one more scene. We have the philosophy of your childhood, but not a specific sensory memory that makes it real. So the question it wants me to ask you is when you think about growing up in Gorakhpur, not the lessons or the values, but a specific afternoon or a moment you still see clearly, what comes up? It doesn't have to be important, just real. And why
Hmm,
this matters is that the book opens with the proverb and the moon landing. We need one
hmm.
image from the township that is entirely your own, not a lesson, just a memory, a smell, a sound, or a person.
So I'll tell you something, and then we'll see what else to do. So the main thing that I now remember is that in that colony, na, there were people from all the different regions. One of them was a Sardaji, one of them was a Malayali, one of them was a Punjabi, Bengali, and they were all around us. We
Mm,
did not know that they are from different regions, they have different customs, they have different languages.
mm,
Only when you come out sometimes and you find that some of these townships actually were a great place for natural integration without us even realizing it. And we
right.
reflect now and say that it was great that, we got exposed to such diverse ideas, cuisines, rituals, all of that. So
Mm,
that is a macro memory. Of course, I can think of some incident with some Sadarji friend of mine or some Malayali friend of mine. But to me, I think this is a more rememberable idea that I actually talk about it also, that I hope everyone can either live in a army household or
mm,
some type of a township, because those create a lot of inclusive behavior without you realizing it.
sure.
Is that good?
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
Okay.
The next one is about your mother. Can you tell me one story about her, not what she stood for, something she did or said once that you've never forgotten? And why this matters is we describe her as a software provider, but we don't yet have her as a person. So one real moment from her will make chapter one unforgettable.
So, one vivid memory is that when she was in school,
Mm,
one day coming back home, she met some old lady who was not in the best of mental health, but was seeking some help or something. So she brought her home, and that lady probably didn't have any family, whatever. And that lady lived with them for a long while. And her papa also said, okay, theek hai. And my grandmother was also quite a kind person, so my mother probably took it for her. So
mm,
that type of story, that can you imagine someone getting someone home and
mm,
that person living with you? Of course, they were. My grandfather was in the railway, so they had large quarters and they would have some space for other people to live and all that. But it is. I just think that as a school kid also. I mean, we also hear of people bringing a cat or a dog home, but this was a human being who lived with them. I don't know what happened after that, but I do remember that she came and she lived with them, and they talk about that. My Mossy also and all that.
sure. Sure, Pankaj. Under the professional chapters, chapter two has the arc, but some specific moments are still composite. So some of the questions like, Jay Srinivasan asked you at Dell, why don't you do analytics? And what was the actual conversation? Where were you? What did you say back in that moment?
Yeah, so Jay was a senior guy in Dell, and he was a Wharton graduate, very smart chap and all that. And he used to work with a guy called Rajan Anandan. I think you may know Rajan also. Rajan is a senior guy. He's in Sequoia. He's into investment. He was the head of Dell in India later on. But
Sure.
earlier, he was the chief of staff of Michael Dell. So
Mm,
Rajan is a Sri Lankan guy who worked in McKinsey, then joined Michael Dell as chief of staff. These CEOs hire these McKinsey partners as chief of staff, as you would have seen from there.
yeah.
So Jay was close to him, and then Rajan would do a lot of global delivery activity on behalf of Dell. And Jay was trying to set up a analytics team in India,
Mm,
and he had started some discussions already with different people, and some segments of those teams were already in place. In fact, he had taken my help in hiring the head of supply chain analytics and marketing analytics and so forth.
mm,
And he was himself doing something in Dell Financial Services, DFS analytics.
right.
So, and he was also heading the larger team. So he said, I want to eventually extricate myself from this analytics field because I'm sitting in Austin.
Mm.
I want someone to do DFS analytics in India. And I
Mm.
think given that you have banking finance background, why
Mm.
don't that part of my role, which is to do DFS analytics, I
Mm.
give it to you. You set this team up and let's see where this goes. So that's how I ventured into the analytics area, taking on part of Jay's and then over time, Jay also gave up his own role of the larger analytics team and
Mm.
made me the overall head. So that was the thing. So he kind of set up this team in parts,
Mm.
led one team himself, gave that part to me, and then the rest of it also over time.
Sure. Perfect.
So that catapulted me into the field of analytics.
Perfect. Perfect. Um, the other observation,
So by the way, for this also,
yeah.
this analytics area also, I will have you talk to three, four people who were very close to me, and they were the other leaders who were actually reporting into Jay.
Mm.
And then they later on ended up reporting into me. So the experience of some others who didn't join this place to report to me, but were later on forced to report to me, what
Sure.
was their experience over there and with me would be an interesting case study also. And they're all good friends of mine, and I will provide you the names. One of them is Parag Chatalia, who just retired from Apple in the US, and he's likely to come back to India and do social work. In fact, he's someone who will be good for you to meet because he wants to devote his life to social work now. The
Mm.
other one is a guy called Alok Agarwal, who's in London now, running his own and company. And there's another guy called Praveen. And so there are a few others. There's a guy called Pradeep Menon, who's heading Charles Schwab Analytics, Mani Subramaniam in Microsoft. So there are a bunch of people from that era who have done really well for themselves.
Sure.
And it would be good to have them also reflect on that time on how these things came together and some instructive lessons may come together.
Sure. Sure, Pankaj. Thank you.
And like I said,
Mm.
you are taking me down the memory lane, and many of these people are really interesting people. And given that you anyway are looking for interesting people,
Yeah.
they may end up being more to you than just the interview candidate for this book.
Sure. Sure, Pankaj. So the other aspect which is coming up is you coming up as a very distant kind of voice in terms of the write-up. That's what Claude was saying. One of the deepest vulnerability of this particular book is the protagonist, which is you feel slightly distant. So the question is, you said you were dead professionally until about 35. What does dead feel like from the inside, and was there any specific day or moment when you noticed it?
Uh, I was what professionally?
Sorry, Pankaj.
What was the question? You said something at the age of 35?
I mean, I think in one of the conversations in the podcast, you said you were dead professionally until about 35.
I am not able to
Recollect?
recollect this one.
Okay.
And not just recollect, but
Mm.
not resonate either.
Okay. I think I'll move this out of the book.
Mm.
Are there professional chapters, specific companies, specific situations that you want handled with care or left out entirely? Because you got the editorial authority, basically asking explicitly whether we should be, including some names in terms of companies and stuff
No,
like that.
so my personal view is that the use of the names of the individuals will also depend on them, right? So that is the reason I'm saying that whoever is being quoted,
Mm.
as you talk to them, you can also ask them that, here is how I'm thinking of quoting you.
Mm.
You only tell me whether I should quote you or not quote you.
Sure.
So I would leave that decision to the person whose name is being there.
Sure.
So it is hard for me to determine whether they will like it or not like it.
Sure.
I am quite open to include everything and anything. There's nothing. I mean, everything to me is an interesting thing, which is good to have. But some people may have reservations, although I don't think so. But let them only tell you. So, like I said, all the names that are being there,
Mm.
I'll anyway have you talk to them. In that talk, apart from other things, you can also ask them that, here is a writer that I'm thinking to quote you. You tell me whether you want to be quoted this way, that way, no way, whichever way.
Sure, Pankaj. So next one is on the Sadhu run. The two things is first, the previous evening when you decided on the costume, what was the conversation? And secondly, those final hours walking back, what were you actually thinking? Not the philosophy of it, the actual thought in your head at kilometer 28.
I was actually the entire time after the 18th kilometer, I was walking with Samir Duggal.
Okay.
So Samir Duggal is one of the seven sadhu, and
Hmm.
we chatted the entire way. I have no recollection of what we chatted, but Samir Duggal must have some recollection. So that's why I'm saying that many of these recollections other people will have. I quickly forget things somehow. I don't store too much of data.
No problem.
So, but Samir will remember, and like that Padma, who's Hari's wife, she actually drove us to the place, and she
Hmm.
also wrote something as you saw.
Yes.
I'm sure and that Sanjay Agarwal, Vela, and others, maybe Krishna Saman. I think they may remember a few other things, but I don't fully remember others except that Vishnu Agnihotri, another guy who I mentioned. He
Sure.
said, I will come over there and I'll take pictures. And he was there at making circle and all taking pictures. He's the one who said, I'll look it up and see if I can find one.
Sure.
JK is another one who remember. He also pointed out that he also dropped out, which I had forgotten.
Okay.
And then the one person which I haven't mentioned is a guy called Praveen Singh,
Hmm.
who became my close friend in at the end of that marathon. He was not part of the Sadhu run,
Okay.
but he at the end of the run I met him, and next day he shared with me a lot of newspapers and TV coverage that we had. So there a lot of newspaper coverage happened on Kannada channel and TV coverage also. Now
Sure.
none of us were Kannadiga. I think Arun Pai was, but he was probably not watching. Praveen Singh is a hardcore Kannadiga. He brought all those newspapers. He said, guys, you guys are being covered here. See this, see this. Some of those newspapers are probably there somewhere. In fact, he had given me a CD also of a TV news channel, which I don't know where it is. So I'm just sharing with you that some of
Hmm.
the other people will remember a lot more because they were watching and they have better memory than mine.
Sure. Sure. The next one is on the Mumbai 2020 marathon, I think where you clocked 440. You crossed the finish line and stood there. What were you feeling in that specific moment, and what did you do next?
I don't remember anything of any of the marathons. My
Okay.
memories are very bad. The only thing I'll point out is that somewhere it is written that my best timing came in 2020 or something at 3:45.
Hmm.
Actually, it came 2 years ago, 2023, I think. I will cross check.
Hmm.
At in Bombay, I got 3:43, and
Hmm.
in Delhi the same year, next month, which is in February, I got 3:40. So those are my two best timing
Sure.
2 years ago. So 2024 it must be. I'll check it out and share with you because it is all shared in this. Strava is one app. So the Strava app captures everything. So I
Sure.
also go to Strava and check which one because like you may have figured out that my storage capacity I have somehow made it very RAM. You have written it somewhere. No
Yes.
ROM.
Hmm.
ROM is there in Strava. ROM is there in Praveen Singh's head. It is there somewhere else,
Sure.
not in my head.
Sure, sure, bro. No problem. Again, this is basically on the LinkedIn. You wrote somewhere on the LinkedIn
But
that.
I will tell you that nowadays my approach to the run has become last couple of times is that I should not give it my full. See, initially when you are young and all that,
Hmm.
cause पूरा करके एकदम give it your 120%.
Hmm.
Now I'm almost saying that I have to give my 80 or 90%, not even 100%.
Hmm.
Because during the run, I want to have a good time. I want to take pictures. If I find some friend, I'll stop by, take a
Hmm.
selfie. I should do all of those things.
Right.
And on the run, sharing selfies also on the WhatsApp, not while running, that all. And at the end of it, I have some program with people to have lunch together and all of that. And I don't get any time to rest. So I
Hmm.
should have enough to be also good for to go for lunch, have a good chat, then come back home that same day. So the Bombay Marathon happens evening, we come back. So morning you have a run, you come back, you get ready, then
Hmm.
you go for lunch, and then you take a flight and come back.
Hmm.
So you should not be totally dead that you are unable to even function during lunchtime. So
Sure.
now it is that give yourself 80, 90%, not 100, so
Hmm.
that you have enough this thing fuel left to also
Hmm.
not only socialize during the run, but socialize after the run that entire day
Yeah.
because you won't get any other time to rest.
True.
Earlier, sometimes what would happen is I will come back and I will at least sleep for 1 or 2 hours before I do anything else.
Hmm.
Now that is not the case. Now I'm not sleeping anymore. So I'm just sharing with you okay, if you to say what is
Hmm.
the macro picture. So I always have a macro picture that I'll remember. The
Sure.
micro picture exactly what I felt I forget.
No problem. No problem, Pankaj. There's something around LinkedIn. I'm not too sure whether you. Okay, I'll read the question. You wrote on LinkedIn that you were barely making it as a leader, just trying to lead yourself. When did you feel that most acutely? Was there a specific professional situation where you were genuinely unsure what to do?
I think this has come that, in corporate life, people will ask you for leadership lessons.
Mm,
Tell me, some people will say, I want to be like you when I grow up. All kinds of things about leadership will be talked about.
mm,
So I think whenever these questions come, I always reflect on it, talk to other people, all of that, and then come up with some response in my head on what do I think about it.
right.
So it's hard to say when,
Mm,
but the thought that came to my mind was that, frankly, leadership is more about leading yourself
mm,
and not about leading others. Now, when I say it, I think a lot of people will say, "हाँ हाँ, ये तो हमको पता है," but somehow I
mm,
don't think that part is internalized the way I'm saying it. So
mm,
I've been talking about that to a lot of people, and the example that I have sometimes used is of Gandhi ji. And I
mm,
said Gandhi ji was not like waiting to say, "चलो crowd इकट्ठा करो, अभी हम डंडी मार्च पे चलेंगे." He
mm,
just said, "Boss, this got to be done. I am if you believe in the cause, follow me." So I said, I think that's a good example or an analogy to say that you have to be very clear about a cause that you are
mm,
focused on, and you know that it is your passion and all. And if you do that, then other people who follow you, they are your tribe. You don't have to go looking for them and enlisting them. I think that tribe
mm,
forms around you. Just like you are playing cricket, the people who like to play cricket will come around you. You're playing football, So I do think that the leadership lesson over there was knowing yourself, having the conviction, and not
mm.
about bossing around other people. Those who come around, that's the tribe. That was the reflection.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. There's a story, I think maybe in one of the podcasts you mentioned about, I think Ritu Bobby's hysterectomy story.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So one of the questions which is coming up is that, Ritu Bobby said you met the doctor for the first time after the operation. So is she comfortable with this being in the book?
I don't know. But
I,
what we will do is we will include her also as a talking participant, and you can ask her that I have heard this story from him. What part of the story or in what manner
hmm,
can I provide the essence of that story or that idea, maybe through some other story if that helps. And
sure.
I think the idea over there is that uh, one is not deeply connected to what is happening to her.
Hmm,
And that can, she will have hundreds of stories on that, by the way. She says, Chodo, Ravi, I'll give you 20 other stories. Don't give this up. She may not, I don't know. It's up to her. So, like I said, so everyone decides how they want to be represented and what lesson is going to come out of it. And if they want to convey that lesson through another story or another mechanism, let them do that because your focus is on creating some lessons.
yeah,
These stories are there to provide that. So as long as they understand and they provide some input, that should be fine.
absolutely. Sure, sure, sir.
तो
Um,
वहां पे वही था कि आई वाज रियली जस्ट डूइंग इट एज अ चेकबॉक्स एक्सरसाइज, नॉट बीइंग एंगेज्ड एंड नॉट बीइंग इंक्लूसिव इन द होल थिंग टू से मुझे बोला गया वहां पे रहना है तो मैं आ जाऊंगा फिर मैं दोस्तों से मिलूंगा versus really the spirit was something else, and that probably happens to many other people. I don't know whether it happens to you, so we
mm,
have to be reminded that this is what it is.
sure, sure, Pankaj. Next one is on okay, the zero phase. You have written that redundancy is a feature, not a bug, and you felt guilt before you found your running system. Has there been a zero phase in your own career, and if so, what did that actually feel like? And why this matters is that if you have experienced zero himself or yourself, that admission transforms one of the chapters. Um,
What is the zero phase?
any didn't I know you have never had any kind of layoff kind of a situation. But
Acha, that one.
did you have a zero phase in your career as a, that's the question.
Zero phase meaning not having a job.
Not having a job, but even when having a job, not being happy about it. Something
हाँ
wonderful that you
हाँ, it has happened two times.
sure.
So one was in G Capital. Now there I will obviously not want to name names, but I had a boss called Shashi Sharma, and he had come from State Bank of India. Somehow I don't know how G handled it. Very old-fashioned guy. So
Mm.
that's when I kind of decided that I had to do something else, and that's when I kind of also moved from G to Stanchart. So,
Oh,
that led to that departure. So I did have that and I didn't know what to do and I tried something and whatever.
sure.
Similarly, in Dell also, I had a boss called Doug Hillary toward the end. He
Mm.
had come from the operations area and he
Mm.
was looking at the analytics team as cost efficiency and bringing this, that, and the other, and not as an innovation team. So
Right.
there are also a lot of disagreement, and I would have, he would have fired me if I had stayed longer.
Mm.
Thankfully, I got a job at Wells Fargo, and then I moved over there. So
Okay.
yeah, there were these two phases when the things were not looking good, and then something else happened, and that changed the trajectory.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect, Pankaj.
So
Now,
without naming names, one can always uh,
sure.
bring these as examples, because
Sure.
those people will not probably like this thing. I mean, because they're well known to me now. We have good equations, so they wouldn't want me to say that
True.
तुम्हारे साथ गड़बड़
No, I get that. I get that.
था. Because I don't hold anything against anyone later, and they also have been okay only, so that's okay.
Sure. Sure. So the last three questions are on your review in terms of how the draft is. So when you read the draft, was there anything that felt slightly off, either factually or in terms of how you come across? Any gaps which you think we need to bridge? Something which you want to write yourself? I mean, you any which ways are going to forward me, but anything which any comment around the draft?
No, so I look at this in two, three different ways. One is when I read it, it looked very nice. I shared it with Ritu, and she also liked it, and so on, right? And she also asking was, who are the readers? What will they take away? I said, this could be any people who want to learn from lessons and all that. So ऐसा करके तो बातचीत हुआ. So that is one, that there's nothing ordinary.
Sure.
Number two, I felt that a lot of other people, like I'm going to introduce you to, will provide their own version and interpretation. So this data will get enriched. I will also provide all the other written material, which will again enrich the this thing, all that. So that's the second thing.
Sure.
Third is, my view is, as we do another iteration, I think we only get some new ideas, no?
Hmm.
So my view is, I think it will probably be an iterative process
Yeah.
where once we read it again,
Hmm.
we may come up with something new. It's almost like the product management,
Yeah.
that you think of a product, you kind of almost launch it in MVP, and then you realize that, oh, there are so many other interesting things that I can enhance it. So I do think that as we go through one more iteration, when more people would have contributed, and those other things that you ingest,
Hmm.
whatever you come out with, if I read that, I may have something more to say. So
Yeah.
that's how I think that the next time I will have something to say might be after those two inputs have been synthesized. So at the first stage, it
Hmm.
looked good, but maybe at the second stage, I may come up with something. In any case, in this call also, you are picking up something. So as we ingest all of this,
Hmm.
maybe I'll have other ideas. So I look at it in a phase way to say, ठीक है, अभी तो ये idea आया,
Hmm.
फिर अगले iteration में देखते हैं क्या idea आता है.
Sure. Sure. So two more questions. You have answered it, but I just want to quickly ask. Is there a chapter or a moment in your life that you feel the book should cover but currently doesn't? Something we haven't asked about. And the last one is on the title, Runversations. Does it still feel right to you? Is there anything about the book's central idea that you want to express differently?
I think the one aspect is about children. My own children also are there. There's a lot of viewpoint on what I have done, not done, or what they are doing.
Hmm.
That part I think is an important one also.
Sure.
And to some extent, secondly, I mean, if I look at it, maybe relationship with parents today, somewhat.
Hmm.
For example, I have this process of going monthly, one weekend, spending time with parents and stuff like that. So not that they are big omissions, but I'm just saying to complete the story, bringing the element of the current sort of family and extended family ka angle
Hmm.
will probably be a good one also.
Sure.
And another thing is that I'm also so this run is one sort of segment of my life. So if you were to look at my WhatsApp,
Hmm.
I'm part of several different WhatsApp groups and many communities that I have myself created, right? So clearly, some of all the colleges and schools that I have been in, I am in general a bit of a connector in all of them.
Yeah.
So if any of them is needing something, they'll call me.
Hmm.
So that is one education institute. Then all the companies that I worked for,
Hmm.
all the alumni groups I have only created. So one is the those institutions which I have attended as college
Sure.
and company. Then there are many that I have created based on common interests. So one is of course the running group, but then there is a active badminton group,
Hmm.
cycling group, women's networking group,
Hmm.
social. responsibility group, spirituality group, uh, elder generation, silver generation group. So ऐसे करके there are several different Venn diagrams, if I can say so, which are out there, which are beyond running. But take some interest in them and participate in them also.
Sure. So we can add all of these flavors, Pankaj.
Exactly. And therefore, the last question, Runversation, is a nice one, but we can rethink it. And again, maybe we can ask Claude only that after enriching all of these data, if you were to give a good title, would Runversation or Runversation combined with something be a more appropriate thing? Can be a question we can consider once we ingest all of this.
Sure.
Runversation is a nice, catchy one. So it's a good one to, you can say, quote unquote, catch the attention of people. So it's a good idea to have a word that we have coined, be a part of that. But then we'll see all what else can be done.
Perfect. I think.
Or one can give a, जैसे होता है ना कि Dhurandhar the Revenge. So you then explain that title. So one can have Runversation, a journey through life or something. It could be the meaning may be much more than just the what the term was originally intended to be. ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं. So these are the ideas that come to mind in terms of the topic, the title.
Sure, perfect. I think even the small comments are making sense. I've actually ingested all the comments which you shared today, right? And so Claude was very happy, saying that this is exactly appropriate and it's fitting up with to different chapters as such. So I think interviewing people also will not take too much time, Pankaj. 10 minutes slot with, because I'll be pretty quick. Claude is helping me with the questions as such as to what exact questions to ask. And maybe I'll give them time in terms of in case they want to share something else which is not planned. We can also add.
So whoever is responding to me, I'm anyway forwarding it to you. So those people's WhatsApp number I can send you, and you can even start, telling them when they are ready to talk. So वो कर सकते हैं. So that can happen in parallel also.
Sure. Done, Pankaj. I think I'll do that.
Because some of them have reverted that give me a day, I will revert. So like Sameer and Arun and JK and some other, but JK has reverted. So whoever is already reverted, they can be initiated for talking. The others, as they respond, I send you their response and I also give you their number and you can have a more detailed. You can mention that Pankaj would have spoken to you. I had some follow-on questions and let me know when you will be free to chat.
Done, Pankaj. I'll take it forward from there.
Okay.
But a lot of even the social media in terms of LinkedIn, I know you're commenting, but people are commenting on your comments, right? So that also has come into a chapter as such. The women's group, women's network group, which you mentioned, right? And recently got rewarded with by them. So I went through that particular post, and gave the feed to Claude. So he created a chapter quoting, giving the names of people over there. So. Lot of work, I think, because you write a lot and you comment a lot, right? I think LinkedIn, I've just touched maybe around 5% of it. I'm going to keep the work on this week. So once you...
So abhi I will forward you the other data sets that can be ingested from my WhatsApp.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, Pankaj.
Chalo. Okay, Ravi.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Bye. Arun.
Hey, Chandra, you able to hear me? Chandra, you're still on mute.
1 second. I think
you're on mute. Oh,
I am muted right now. Let me see.
I can hear you. I can hear you now, Chandra. So.
Let me. Now I can. You can see me as well.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, Ravi. Let me put you into this one. Yeah. Okay.
Great to meet you. Thank you so much for coming online so fast, Chandra.
Yeah, you called me at the right time. That is the whole thing. Yeah, I am a bit coughing, but that's okay.
No problem. No problem. So I've got, I think, 7 questions for you. I'll start with the first one.
Yeah.
Basis your response, I think you've known Pankaj since 2007, you said, nearly
Yes.
4 decades of running together. How has the nature of your conversations on the track evolved over the years? And was there any moment or moments when runs shifted to cash and chat, something deeper?
That is the case almost every day. We go there and he will throw a topic or somebody will throw a topic. Others will talk and he will listen. In between, he will at the right point of time, he will give a kind of a kick. Okay, what is this? What is that? Probably in a humorous way, joke way, or those things. But out of the whole conversation, others will be talking, he'll be listening, and in between at the right time, give a punch to enhance the conversation. That is his character. So even most of the time, I also be a listener. Only today I was talking quite a lot. He has recorded all my recording in between my today for the time. Yeah, once in a while it do happen that I also will be talking. At least generally I'm not a very good talking guy or anything.
Right.
But somehow it comes that I also becomes a relatively a better talker and nicely.
Absolutely.
So the credit goes to him.
Absolutely.
He is able to make the best out of the other person.
Absolutely, Chandra. Now, can you also connect us in terms of how you know Pankaj? Did you study together or did you work together?
No. The first time I met him in 2007 in the running, we go for this weekly running.
Right.
So one of the running track, I met him for the first time. If I remember 2006 or maybe 2007 to be safe. Those days, Runners for Life, one group used to be there.
Right.
Every Saturday we go and meet. There we started and continuously every Saturday I go, he will come and something. Then it improved into running events. In 2007-8, all hardly 50 people were there with this running habits. So with that 50 people used to be very close. After running, there will be a breakfast meet, and the breakfast will be quite a lot, nearly 1 hour, 2 hours of running, 1 hour of breakfast. Then we go to the events like Mumbai, Pondicherry, and Goa, Hyderabad, various places, going in the flight, in the train, staying together. So everywhere this run, let me put this word conversation only, with any others. So when he is around, there will be a lot of talking, this one, talking and talking in various subjects, everything in a fun way, but many things going generally are in a very knowledgeable way.
Absolutely.
That is a very from a running track, running related, not in any other. Of we are met in this colleagues, runners, marriage or something, those kind of. But only in a running related things I know him.
Sure, Chandra. So one of the responses, the second one rather, you gave where there were many moments and difficult to point out a single one. Recent conversation, he said, hear everything, introspect what you hear, pick what is right for you, and ignore what you feel not right, and never go for an argument. Is what you said. So that advice, hear everything, introspect, pick what's right, and let go of the rest, is remarkably grounded. Yes. Do you recall what situation or context prompted Pankaj to say that, and was he responding to something specific in your life at that time?
Yes, this exactly happened 2 weeks back. Again, I said spirituality is one of the discussions we have. Okay. To be very specific, one of the things came in Ashtavakra Gita. Okay. When Ashtavakra Gita came, a lot of discussion came, and I gave him a summary. It is a very, very tough subject. The consciousness, deep consciousness, Maya, that kind of a thing. Yes. I am a person who is very much discussed on. He prompted me to discuss more about spirituality. So I said many things about it. He summarized, and about Veda, about spirituality, he has a very. So I asked him a question. You are doing this. What you take? You are hearing from this and various other sources, everything. At that time, he said, See, about this, not necessarily that whatever I am hearing is true. I hear everything. I hear most of the things, and not only here, in various people.
Yeah.
And I do an analysis of what I am hearing. Probably I don't want I skip, and what I feel right to me or right in general, I take it. That is what. So felt, oh, this is the very good thing. And for example, a person like me, when somebody is not correct, at times I go for a little bit of argument or I try to correct others. At that day onwards, I thought, okay, why should I correct others? Let them correct themselves. Let me hear what is. There are so many good things. If something is not related to me, ignore it. That is his view. But many things he has a knowledge. Take that knowledge with me. It's if I feel not okay, let me. I think I do not agree to that point. But no need to correct somebody else. They are all. Let them correct. It is not your job to correct others.
Yeah.
As a friendly level in a matured friendship. Okay, this one that I felt very good in this thing. There are many things, but since you are asking one particular moment,
Yeah.
I'm taking that which is a recent one. This is just 2 or 3 weeks old.
Sure, Chandra.
That I clearly remember that conversation. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. That helps. So, Chandra, next one is around, you describe him as someone who talks very less but makes others talk. You actually said that. And have you ever caught yourself wondering afterwards, how did he get me to open up so completely? What does he actually do? A question, a pause, or a look that creates that space, according to you?
Oh, that is a skill. I always wonder how I can adapt that. That he just talks. He picks the right thing at the right stage. That's all. It doesn't start. No, we just go on a run. Others all talk. In point of time, somebody talks on thing. He picks the right from among. There will be 10 guys. Out of that, he picks one of the guy. Hey, ये ऐसा बोलता है. ये ऐसा है. He did one thing. For example, today I just said I went to Rajasthan. Today, for example, what happened? Just today I said I learned many new things, which is not history. Our histories are all just bogus history we are taught. The real history are mass from mass. I just made a statement. He said, explain what happened. What is the new thing? Then the next 1 hour he made me talk on that thing. I started the Rajput history. I narrated one story, my thing. Again on that thing, the related thing, he make me go into that. This is just one example that just happened today.
Yeah.
Like that with anybody else. The relevant topic. The other day topic was on war. The person who knows the war perspective and other things. Yet another day it was the impact of AI agents on our life in general, the white collar job losing and other thing. He pick other hey, what is your thing? You know that. Just explain. When he starts, he knew at the right point. The thing is, why we do is he knew at the right points, ask the right question, and make the conversation more interesting.
Absolutely. I think one thing I was thinking while you were talking, Chandra, is that he never sees news, is what he said. He doesn't read news.
He never reads news. He never reads anything. Everything. He morning, afternoon, evening, he talks with people and he which he told. Yes. That is the thing.
Yeah. Perfect.
Out of which the spirituality part and other things about Veda, and he used me. I not that I know everything or thing, whatever I know I say, but he has a thing. Again, he picks the right things from me probably. Yes, that is there. Only while talking to others, conversation with others, maybe on phone, on WhatsApp, or on that's all he does.
So I think it's gathering news from people rather than seeing from the news channels is what I can conclude really.
Yes, exactly. That is an art. Probably I have to develop that one. Really, I mean, many things I love, and how to create a network, like the way a number of friends or network he has, it's amazing. Okay. I say, I know everybody in Bangalore because I know Pankaj.
Absolutely.
That is what I tell. Yes. I don't want to know anybody. I'll say, hey, I am Pankaj running friend. So there is a 60-70% chances that that person immediately I can connect.
Absolutely. I was doing this podcast, Chandra, last 2 years, and he was there for most of the other episode. Every other episode, he actually comes. So a lot of my friends ask sometimes advice, sometimes help for jobs and different situations, right? So I quickly ping him, he pings back, and they have this conversation. I'm so grateful that we are connecting to him. So I can actually get that your network actually increases because you're in touch with Pankaj. That I completely agree.
Yep.
Coming to other questions, Chandra, I think you might have actually answered it, but I'll ask you. In your experience, is Pankaj's silence a deliberate strategy, or is it simply who he is? And has his way of listening ever changed how you listen to others?
If I understand the question, what is his unique that character where he listens more and talks less?
Correct. And how has
That
it
is what
impacted your listening? Yeah. How has it impacted your listening?
I try to. I mean, I used to be a guy before that, in between crosstalk, jump into that and the break. He used to very silently say, now you are breaking this conversation. And the topic is getting diverted. Let him complete. In a very, he never shout or doesn't look. In a very that polite, nice way where I feel, oh, correct. I did that. I mean, that is the way to correct somebody.
So,
Yes, I was having this thing. I mean, I'm not a very good listener or anything. That improved quite a lot. When somebody is talking, wait for the right time to interfere your part. Don't get in between. I do that. Yes, in the beginning time or all, it used to happen, but later I started. Yes, this is the right thing. Listening is the best leading, not talking. Oh, that definitely I learned most. I learned from others as well, but he is one of the best in that
absolutely.
particular thing. How to take the conversations into the level and how from the conversation how to take the best out of it. This definitely is the best example for that.
Absolutely.
So what happened is the morning motivation, the running motivation itself is if Pankaj is there, yes, definitely today we are going to have something. That definitely not only he, we all get that benefit of it today. Yes, today also we had that nearly 2 hours of running conversations today on the various subjects.
Sure. So in terms of the
I
run,
hope I answered you the exact
you
question.
did, you did, definitely, you did. In terms of the run, how is it scheduled? Like, is it the same kind of destination you plan every day, or is it different?
Not every day, every Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. This is happening since 2008. We have this. We call it as Dandi.
Okay.
Dandi, why it happened is Gandhiji started it, that Dandi March, like the rivers merging into another, the tributaries coming in. At each places, people will join. We start from Kaban, go up to Dhamulur. At that time, Pankaj will be coming from his home, and we meet at Dhamulur. Then again come back to Kaban, go up to Yeshwantpur, Sangita, and come back to Kaban. 30 kilometers, the longest run. We all run. But not necessarily 30. I may join at Kaban itself on the return leg. I may make even 10 sometime. Okay, I don't have time. This so various run. This is the way we do.
Sure.
But in general, we just name it as this Dandi run. Dandi run is this a long distance, so that these places we cover, not necessary, but generally that one. And while doing that, there is no this, that is standard thing that, okay, we will assemble around 6 o'clock in the morning. After 8:30, we will run. And after 8:30 to 9:30, we will go to a breakfast. So 6 to this 9:30, this conversation at various level happens with various people. Since Pankajis are almost every small distance, a new guy will come, he will say, stop, take selfie, have a conversation with him, explain about him. he will also join sometimes.
Right.
So the maximum people you will see with the Pankaj, because almost anybody going in that thing, and whoever he goes, he immediately joins into our group. He's that WhatsApp group. That that way it happens.
Sure. How about the marathons, Chandra? Have you been with him along for the recent marathon?
Since 2008 together, I have done around now 35 marathons totally. He also would have, he has started a little later on to the full marathon, though he was running.
Right.
To the actual marathons coming, he also would have been definitely around the 30, 35 kind of a thing.
Sure.
Even at the age of 57, he is still under the 340, 350, 345, 350 level. He's able to manage. I'm not. My best was 4 hours marathon in Mumbai. That is way back 2014.
Okay.
At that time, my age was 55.
Excellent. Okay.
Then subsequently, okay, I was maintaining more or less, not sub 4, for 15, for 10, for 15, that level. Then COVID came. So 2 years break after COVID. After COVID, I couldn't go back to that performance level. I come down to about 45 level. But Pankaj is always, he never ages. He doesn't do anything, but he is able to keep that running form consistently in a very good that 345, that level. He does that. It's an amazing thing how he is able to do. So we are all say this, not many that have age. Okay, I am one of the senior in that. There are others 67, 70 even. That above 60, we are around 6 of the guys. Now in another 2 years, he will reach into that stage. But he is definitely different. He is today, he competed one 10-year-old boy we met on the way. And another 23-year-old girl with us. Pankaj 58 and another Hindi probably 45. They all ran together. Pankaj was competing with them. This 10-year-old as well as 23-year-old, they almost okay. More or less together, maybe 1 or 2 meter distance only. They ran some 100 meter today. Well, honestly, he is able to compete with somebody. So that is the question. I can go on answering, but to put, this is the short answer I can give.
Absolutely. So one final question, Chandra. If someone who has never met Pankaj reads this particular book, what's the one thing you want them to understand about him that no data point or achievement can convey?
I clearly mentioned, whatever I mentioned, I will repeat it. Pankaj is the person who has the highest number of network, who makes the best out of you, the knowledge, by talking, making you talk more.
Sure.
That is what Pankaj I can say. The best word. Many other things, but this is the tagline I will put for Pankaj.
Perfect, Chandra. Thank you. So, personally, what are you doing? I mean, are you working somewhere, or you said you?
Okay, no. 2016 onwards, I quit all my job. I am on my own. Okay. What I do a little different from others. He was a kind of a little bit spiritual side of the life. So I learned Veda, Yajurveda fully.
Oh, you learned Yajurveda?
Yes. Wow. After my passion, I did that. Nothing for any other thing. Then I went in 2016 Kailas Manas Sarovar by Government of India by trekking.
Wow.
Marathon, trekking, then these Vedic things. But coming back, I decided, okay, I got an inside call that no, I don't have to work enough. Let me have this level of this. Then what happened is people came to me for learning. Chanting, not the inner meaning. I do give that. Probably what happened is by word of mouth, I increase, and at any given point of time, I teach around 30, 40 gigs in a day. 30. So I teach, they come for me that Veda learning. This at that level. That is what keeping me mainly. I always go for some chanting. Somebody call me as a group. These are all the in a short level. If you, I don't know how much you are exposed to these things, because this is a very different niche area of things.
No,
Where
absolutely.
there are many temples and other things they call for people. They believe by doing Vedic chanting,
Yeah.
the peace in the world can be restored.
No, absolutely.
And people, so for that belief, they call, we go for that. Very, it's a different way of life for that. Not as the life is a little, you have to be a Vedic way of life. You have to follow. So that I
Like,
do, and the more the generation now, till in my age or all, anything religious among the Hindus was not considered not progressive. You have to go out of it. That thinking was there, a rational, especially when the socialism, communism. I'm from Kerala, so that effect was even in my time. Anything talk about religious or going to temple or this is not progressive. That is changing now. Everybody realize no. As progressing, you have to core values are this as well. Whichever you believe, be in the belief. Don't change.
yeah.
The go with that. Your heritage and your Vedic culture has a lot on you. You have to improve that. You cannot leave that and go for that. So I do in that level. So I'm happy that the young generation is coming to me for learning quite a lot. And the responsibility, I encourage them for that. There is no compulsion, nothing. Those who are willingly coming, I teach the core values of our culture,
So,
right from the Vedic, everything, without anything. They have no compulsion of listening me or going that thing. Like the way Pankaj says,
yeah.
if you are interested, take it. If you are not interested, you can argue with me, question with me, or leave. Nothing. But this is understand this. At least you have to know that such things are there.
Absolutely.
So, the-
Absolutely.
so that keeps my life, as well as I used to do some organic farming. I couldn't sustain that because I was spending 1,000, getting 300. It got right into the soil and did for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And, it didn't work out.
Even I
This
I
is
want
what
to
I'm doing.
relate to what you're saying, Chandra, because both my children learn Vedam, and they've been learning Vedam since almost 4 5 years. So I
Oh,
came from I studied in Puttaparthi for 5 years. So
okay.
my friend who's T.R. Sridhar and T.R. Kumar, both brothers. I think
Oh,
T.R.
they
Kumar is
are very,
now,
you will be knowing even Sri Ram in that case. Sri
yes,
Ram Srinivasan.
yes.
He is in US, Seattle.
Oh yes, I know
In
him. He's
5 years, he is my best student.
Areva.
As even now, he is learning with me. But
Very
at this
good.
moment, I got another thing. For the time being, because whatever I learned, I have already taught him. Then I said, let us learn together with another guru. So
Excellent.
we are learning. Oh, Srinivasan, just put my name.
I will
So
definitely tell him.
Srinivasan.
For sure.
He is my best. He is a different thing. I don't know how God gave him to me as a student.
He's the one
That
sitting in Meta, right?
now in Meta, from Microsoft, he moved to Meta.
Last year he was here in Hyderabad for a week, Chandra.
Yes, I know that.
You know that, right?
He
So I,
wanted to be that. But
uh,
one week, he told me 2 days or something. He was in Chennai, then, he came one week. He said
no,
he is going to Hyderabad.
no, Monday to
Okay.
Friday he was here. So I took him around some temples to Shivam and
So
other.
he also studied over there. So you're
Yeah,
all
yeah,
met from the same schools.
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
So,
So, in conclusion, Chandra, your profile is very fascinating for me. And, season one, in terms of the podcast, I did in 2024, around 18 guests, around 48 guests in season two. Season three, I have actually not started this year. I was actually trying to compile all the two books which have recently come across, compiled rather, not written, for those podcasts, so that I want all the essence of, insights from Pankaj and other leaders, part of two books. Season three, I have not started. I actually want to start with you. I'll come up with some. I first of all take your permission whether it's okay for us to do a short podcast, 30 minutes or 45 minutes. We'll go through, and especially the Vedam bit, whatever you're passionate about. Vedam is one part of it, but whatever you're passionate about, what you want to convey, want to really, record it and then share it on the social media. What happens later, we don't have control, but very, very interesting personality, and with help of Pankaj, it's lovely to really spend half an hour with you to know more about you. But I want to record it properly, and we'll do it whenever it is convenient. But it's an open offer. It's actually, I'll be very, very glad in case you say okay. I'll come up with kind of topics working with you, and then we'll do a podcast if you're okay, Chandra.
Okay, I definitely. But before that, I wanted to see the podcast you are doing with Pankaj and how it is concluding. So
I'll,
that will be
I'll share.
a thinking point for me.
Sure.
Again, tell me a little more about when I am meeting Sriram. I want to talk, okay, about you, Vikanta. How you know him and what you are right now doing? I mean, I didn't ask anything about you.
Okay.
Other than
So I worked with HSBC for 10 years and with Wells Fargo for 5 years. So 2 US banks.
Wells Fargo, you met Pankaj.
Yes, Wells Fargo, I met Pankaj. That's how I just met him for a meeting, Chandra. Very, very interesting. Went for half an hour, and because I was working in HSBC earlier and we did a huge transformation project, he was very interested in terms of how the learning leadership models were there. And I was going in depth because I was just come out of HSBC then. Half the meeting got over, we have those meeting rooms where you can't really sit inside them. After the meeting, you have to come out. So he said, call me from your work phone, and he had around 45 minutes, 1 hour conversation deeply into what he wants to know. So that's the first time I got to know the kind of curiosity that Pankaj actually has. And then we did the podcast, and then last year went to Bangalore to meet him. So went to his home, and he took me in his car towards work, and then we had a 45-minute conversation. So that's how I know him. I'll share with you the podcast which I did with Pankaj. We did one-to-one. We did it with two of his friends, with four of the leaders from Wells Fargo also we did. So different formats we actually did. And what has worked for me in terms of the podcast is only on LinkedIn. Only on LinkedIn, there are a lot of people, professionals who actually comment and like across different leaders as such. YouTube, Facebook, that didn't work, but LinkedIn is a medium which actually works. So I normally put it on LinkedIn. Before the full podcast comes, a lot of these teasers in terms of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they actually come. So even now, this particular season, I'm putting just a minute or two kind of snippets on LinkedIn, giving the insights in terms of what's coming out of that, and then some sort of discussion actually happens. So what I did after 15 years, I came with a learning consultancy. It's called Sai Equity. It's almost 9 years now. So I work with a lot of these domain experts in technology and leadership, behavioral, soft skill. Work with the companies and then send these trainers over there. We do have a commercial agreement over there. So that's working going on. Udemy is one platform where we put all of our courses over there. So we get some dollars from that. Podcasts typically are my passion. Doesn't generate any funds. And it's basically pro bono, because leaders like Pankaj.
Is this part-time your passion, or are you still working in HSBC and doing all those things?
No, I've come out of both the organizations.
So you are full-time into your passion.
I'm full-time into my passion.
Okay. All right.
So that's something which has worked out for me pretty well. Now, the last 2 years, I've been into podcast, seen the kind of impact it has on people. So I wanted to, first of all, compile all the insights together as 2 books, so that the work is done and dusted. And then I wanted to actually start season 3 instead of just recording every week. So last year it was back to back. So almost 8 months, every week I was able to share a podcast every Monday morning. So that was huge effort, and it was very rewarding because a lot of learning. Speaking to Pankaj every now and then, he's actually okay to have a call in office hours, 12:30, 1 o'clock. So he's like a mentor, and I've had huge influence, been influenced by him throughout. So my work is into learning, leadership, and technology domains. I write a lot. I started writing books of late. Just last week I started. I was telling Pankaj, I've got around 40 videos of my podcast, 50 videos which actually does with other podcasters as well. So almost 90 videos are there. Pankaj, can I? Because I just published two books, I suggested him, can I actually start? Whether we publish or not is something different. Can I actually start? So he gave the permission. So I came up with a 50, 60 kind of pages basis the YouTube videos. I think he liked it. Ritu Bobby also had a look at it. He shared with some of the friends. The comments were pretty good. So then he suggested, want to speak to all my friends, not just on WhatsApp, speak to them in person and get to invite interesting people on your podcast. So you can actually do that parallelly. So that's the context, Chandra.
Oh, great. Oh, okay. So I can understand your passion, but is it getting monetized somewhere?
So the podcast is not getting monetized. Podcast at this point of time not getting monetized. The only reason for that is I want industry leaders to come and talk. And if I put any pricing there, if I pay them or they pay me, or I actually market it, the organization's HR team will not allow. That's the only reason as to why I'm not doing any monetary. And we have kind of set up a team. So Pankaj is there, Shubhayu Sen Gupta from Zeta, ex Wells Fargo, Nidhi Pratapeni again, ex Wells Fargo, and Subramani, my batchmate. He's a coach, ICF coach. So five of us are actually part of this particular podcasting. And I take suggestions and recommendations from them, and they refer to leaders to the podcast. So that's how it's working as of now.
Okay, so you are all living on your corpus, what you created so far.
Absolutely. My wife is working. So she's with Novartis as associate director. So
Okay.
we're actually managing together, and it's working well.
Okay.
It's organized for the children also to an extent. I've got a 17-year-old guy, now it's 12th class complete, 11-year-old daughter. So that's working out well with us, Chandra.
Very good. My daughter is 26-year-old now. She completed her IIT Kanpur Masters.
Excellent.
She wanted to do research, but she don't want to do research in India.
Ah.
So trying that. In the meantime, I got her a job through my act. So that is going on. But she want to get into a good, well reputed like IAC or Cambridge or something thing for her. So that is one thing happening. Other than that, this Vedam is going on that happily. Anyway, very happy. I will be talking to Sriram anyway about you. That's why this one. Okay, so Ravi, very nice of talking to you. And where are you put up?
Hyderabad.
Oh, you are in put up in Hyderabad.
No,
Because
Hyderabad.
you are in HSBC, one of my students, Shankar Raman is his name. He is staying here, very close to me. He is a project manager in HSBC, that level. Just in case that. So you may not be, because you are in Hyderabad. He is in Bangalore. Okay. And in the HSBC kind of thing, project to project level interaction is very less. I know that because I was working in Wipro.
Okay.
At this one for a long time.
Sure.
Then I got that job and started my own like this.
Very nice.
So, okay. Okay, Ravi. Anyway, quite a lot of time.
Sure. Thank you for your time, Chandra. I'll come back to you with a podcast request later on.
Yeah, sure. Nice. Okay, I am okay to anything.
Thank you for your
There are
time.
new experience to me. So any new experience, I will gladly welcome.
Perfect then. Thanks so much, Chandra.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a good idea. So when he keeps conversing, he's in a zone. So and that is what actually is so much liked about a lot of people who run with Pankaj. That is forever conversing. So that's something which I also do even now. The other things which I personally remember very closely were, it was a lot of political discussions and the local politics, what Bangalore as a city used to face. When we were running on different routes, we will discuss about the history of the place and other things. And subsequently, it's from the same group that Arun Pai, who started the Bangalore Walks, he also came from the same group. So I remember him we running in Kormangla, Indiranagar, and all of these things. And somewhere Pankaj, I was from an arts background, I'm a student of political science. So we used to discuss a lot of these things in the UPA government forming, what it is, how was the BJP government. I mean, well, I don't want to get into those kind of nitty-gritties of it, but there were a lot of interesting discussions on the dynamics of what was happening between political parties, which are natural. The next thing was the boom of Bangalore as a city, the IT thing, what made Bangalore what it is. I still remember, and of course, we used to. In those days, he was working in I'm not sure which company. It was, I think, the now it's Aditya Birla Group. At that time, he was with quite a few of the multinationals, the thing in terms of thing. So his space of data analytics, he used to talk about what it is. And those were interesting conversations. So I used to talk about my area of thing, and he used to talk about those. There are a
Mm.
lot of distinct ones, but I think now if we tell them out, it's it gets difficult.
I'm
So it
with
may
you.
not be a good idea. I think these are best kept secrets of our conversations.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's right. So sometimes you know what you say, no, what happens in Vegas remains in Vegas. So some of
Absolutely.
these conversations, what we have with Pankaj remains with us. That's it.
Sure, Rajesh. So in terms of, because he runs, all of you run ultra distances and he leads a complex organization as of now. Do you see any connection between how he runs and how he leads, or are they two completely separate worlds for him, according to you?
See, I think for all runners, personally, all of them running influences their personal professional life, and professional life influences that. And I'm sure for Pankaj, it has been a more. While I haven't really kept tab on his professional life, I know, but he's done well for himself. I'm sure a lot of takeaways were there from what he did at work over here and what he did. I mean, this entire idea of endurance running, the ability to keep focused on a target for a long time over this thing. He's
Mm,
always told that, you know, how the running has helped him not only to kind of change his mindset and outlook, but
mm,
also how he treats the connections which he gets in running. So, you know, everybody has a personal life, a professional life. So the passion life gives you a different set of people
yeah.
whose interests are very different from that. So that was something which he always used to tell. So for him, in a way, he used to kind of tell that, you know, these runversations, these things,
Mm,
or in a way you call as it gives a reinvigorates him over the weekends.
mm,
So he was, and I think luckily he didn't have too much of a traveling job. So he always used to be very clear about, you know, the Saturday runs and Sunday runs were very sacred for Pankaj. He always, unless he was away in some place, I can't think of him
mm.
not attending runs.
Right.
And so, yeah, and I think see, the same set of things you kind of would like to repeat in anything you do. You would want to be focused, disciplined. You would want to be,
Mm,
you know, building that sense of camaraderie, all those. And I'm
mm,
sure that he was quite capable of creating a very great sense of camaraderie, community for this entire thing.
yeah.
And back at work, also, those are the things which you would want to do.
Mm. Absolutely, Rajesh. Thank you. Uh, the topic basically the mind behind the silence, and he's known for listening more than speaking, is what others also say. But when he does speak, what's the quality of it? Is it precise, poetical, practical, or something else entirely? That's one. And secondly, just follow up question on that is: does he ever surprise you, like saying something that completely contradicts what you expected out of him?
See, uh, yes, definitely he used to listen, but he used to also talk a lot. I mean, at least in my case, I remember we used to have, you know, sometimes we used to interrupt in each other's conversations and we used to do stuff, things like that. That's great. And then the surprise bit is, see, I'll tell you personally, uh, today, what we are struggling, probably, I don't know, as a society, country, whatever you call,
Mm,
it's just the simple idea of listening to somebody and respecting other person's views. That's the biggest problem. So whatever he said, it might have been a contrary to what we have listened. But I think every idea goes through this process. You know, this is ideology. You know, is first of all, if there is a set thing that today, for example, the entire thing today, if you say that, okay, this is the best way to do this process. Okay, that's the thing. That's the A. That's a thesis.
yeah.
Suddenly somebody comes back and says, no, no, this can be done better. He adds something to this. So that is
Mm,
the antithesis.
mm,
And then when you combine the both, it becomes a synthesis.
yeah.
And the synthesis again becomes a thesis.
Mm,
And then you have an antithesis.
yeah.
And that becomes a synthesis. If we hadn't had this kind of ideas which we had discussed over years or century,
Mm,
a new thought wouldn't have come. So personally, for me, I have never felt anything he has told us contrary, but probably it kind of gave a different perspective. It was for us to reflect, rethink, and all those things. That is what I would remember of all Pankaj conversations.
yeah.
So I don't think there's anything like a bad conversation or anything. It's about how enriching or how sometimes it can be,
Mm,
you know, it can be not so enriching. That's the thing, you know. I wouldn't want to say this. Of
yeah.
course, you do have your freewheeling conversations, which will have this element of fun, humor, sometimes stupid things and all that. But I guess that's part of conversation. That's what it is all about.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't think that any of his things which he felt was contradictory. I would think that it is another different way of looking at it. This a different idea.
Mm.
Probably some of them, good. Some of them not so good. Or at times you should agree to disagree on these kind of aspects.
Mm.
One thing is, yeah, whatever we used to speak. End of the day, we would like to base our arguments on reason and rational.
Mm.
That was important, which we always used to think.
Sure.
It's not that we want to go everything by evidence, but then
Mm.
we would want to have a proper reason and rational to it.
Sure, Rajesh. I mean, he is known to have a very large kind of a network as such, and a cross section really. It's not the same mentality as if you look at the kind of friends that he has. What's the kind of qualities that he actually has, which helps him to be friendly with, you know, too many people with two different kind of behaviors?
I think it's very simple. No expectations. Just be what you are. As long as the conversation is what it is.
Mm.
It is not. I mean, you when you converse, you don't converse to hurt somebody or praise somebody. It on the way. If it comes, it comes. Probably, I think it's more to do with that. And
Mm.
generally, with age and experience, more people tend to hang around with you along this thing.
Mm.
And I think he's very agnostic to all aspects. Like, for example, somewhere you can tend to hang out that I want to hang out with an engineer crowd, this crowd, that crowd.
Yeah.
I think he's agnostic to that. He
Mm.
doesn't mind if it's men, women, north, south, IT, non-IT, rich, poor, different social backgrounds.
Mm.
I don't think he's agnostic to it. It's not that the others are, selective in that. At least whenever I've come across, he's never been kind of try to keep people aside based on a certain set of things. I don't think. I mean, his criteria is open.
Sure. Sure. And last two questions, Rajesh. One is on what does Pankaj look like when he's truly at ease, not performing, not leading, just himself? Where or when do you see that version of him? And finally, has he ever shown any kind of vulnerability, doubt, tiredness, uncertainty in a way that made you feel closer to him?
See, so for me, as I mentioned, my thing was very close to him for the first four, back 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably. Afterwards, both work and the fact that I've been away from, I live in Hyderabad and I've been in different places. So that's one thing. So I used to go back to Bangalore frequently, and then when we get Sunday runs, we used to do this. See, so I think his probably his personal moments are probably when he's with family or whatever it is. But I always seen that Pankaj is always having somebody along doing something other. That's something which I've seen.
Mm.
I wouldn't be able to comment if he has changed now in the last 5 to 10 years.
Mm.
And from whatever I see in the Bookam group and I follow, he's only getting more active. That's fun.
Mm.
That's what I would say. And the other question, what was the last one you asked?
Has he shown any kind of vulnerability, doubt, tiredness, uncertainty in a way that made you feel closer to him?
See, running is such that you're always active. Difficult to go through all this. See, probably the only thing you may do is one race you would have run in 4 hours, one race you would have run at 3:45. So that 15 minutes is not that you become stronger, or when you do a 4:15 you become weaker. At least I have not seen that.
Mm.
But personally, for me, to the best of my knowledge, I think he's remained like that. He aged gracefully. Um, so I wouldn't be able to guess on the vulnerabilities. All this I've never found him, at least to the best of my knowledge. Or I would rather put it like uh, I'm not. I've not been that close, especially in the
Mm.
last 5 to 6 years, or post COVID. I wouldn't say that's what I would think of Pankaj.
Sure.
I might be wrong, but yeah, distance definitely kind of decreased our interaction. But I don't think even now we both pick up the phone and speak. We can have a
Mm.
very long conversation as if nothing, as if we knew each other, so well. And so this thing is.
Sure. And lastly, what has knowing Pankaj quietly changed in you, in how you think, work, or run?
See, for me, definitely my initial days of the thing which I told, the conversations which we used to have while running.
it did get me close to a lot of people. And for me, when I in my running journey, everywhere I've gone, it's been important to maintain that conversation with that person to keep it going. And it's been help, like, just half an hour of conversation with a person on the run. I know almost a lot of things, and that's kind of helped me kind of this thing. And that's
Mm.
something which Pankaj does brilliantly when on a conversation on the run.
Mhm.
That's something which I would say now. If the question you're asking me is probably I kind of picked it up from him unknowingly or this thing. I never reflected. I always used to have a conversation on the run,
Right.
but the idea of conversation, Pankaj long runs on Sunday, it
Mm.
used to be very interesting. So I think, if you ask me where did you get this, while my coach told that having a conversation on the run is good, but probably it was more evident the fact with my interaction with Pankaj that it might have come. Because a
Mm.
lot of the people in those days, they never used to talk. Otherwise, they feel that conversation will make them feel tired. Otherwise, they might lose focus.
Yeah.
But I think with Pankaj, I never felt that.
Great, great. And I'll have to apologize, but ask you the first question because I forgot to click the button record. The first question, I'll go back, Rajesh. In terms of how do you know Pankaj and in what context have you spent it? Have you spent around a minute or two initially? I forgot to record.
Oh, so I met first Pankaj in 2005 April when there was a run organized by Runners for Life. And that was the first run, and we struck immediately and we exchanged numbers and we used to run together in Bangalore at those days. Early days, I ran my Mumbai Marathon in 2005 Jan, and I remember narrating all my experiences to Pankaj. And he later on, he and many other people in that group went on to run several marathons. And that is how it started off. And I used to live in Bangalore then, so we used to interact frequently. It was during runs, off runs on social occasions, some parties. So these are all things. What other thing which really was the fact that I was probably the only non-techie in their group. Almost all were engineers. I think I was the only one guy who was from an arts background, working with Yamaha Group, trying to develop airports and things, airports, power plants. So that used to intrigue him that, a non-engineer is doing what it is. So that definitely, we used to kind of discuss a lot about in 2004, just the politics of UPA came out. Those are all interesting things which we kind of put us together.
Sure, Rajesh. Thanks so much. So where do you stay in Hyderabad?
I stay here in Sheikpet.
Oh, okay. I'm in Malkajgiri, this other side.
Oh, you live in Hyderabad?
I'm in Hyderabad, yes.
Oh, okay, okay. So what is this thing? I know I read your thing. So what you do kind of these kind of podcasts of people, or what is it exactly?
Yeah, so the last 2 years, 2.5 years, I've started doing this podcast, Monday morning running podcast. I normally publish the complete podcast on a given Monday.
Monday morning is a running podcast?
No, learning podcast.
Learning podcast. Sorry,
Learning.
yeah, okay.
So I've done around 65 leaders until now. Season 1 was 2024, around 18 leaders. Season 2 last year, around 48 leaders.
Okay,
I've
nice.
written 2 books compiling the entire essence and insights of what the podcast would capture. This year, I started writing these 2 books because I didn't want to start recording season 3. So while I was doing that, I mentioned to Pankaj saying that I see around 90 to 100 videos on YouTube on you. Can I just try to compile a bit of your book, because his views on legacy is well known. He doesn't want to leave any legacy as such. So I did ask one of the questions on the podcast on what kind of legacy he wants to leave. So he says nothing. So he agreed for me to start compiling the book, which I did around 50, 60 pages as such until now. And
so you're writing a book on him now?
That's right.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Around 60 pages as of now, 60, 65. And then he said, why don't you speak to my close friends and get more information, insights, and then gather all of them and put that part of the book. So that's one reason as to why I'm reaching out, and he's actually sending and sharing his contacts with me. That's the context, Rajesh.
Okay, okay. Nice, nice. So I look forward to whatever you're this thing. Sure.
Finally, the last question which I'm asking everyone is, what are you doing at this point of time? Are you actually working, or are you retired? And
So I'm on my own. I was in corporate life for quite some time, so I'm just on my own trying to. I do some similar professional what I was doing. I do it in assignments rather than on my terms, rather than a full-time job and things like that. And apart from that, I do teach, and I'm involved in some amount of work in the not-for-profit space in the through my work in the Hyderabad Runner Society and a few other non-profit things which I'm doing actually.
Would you be interested to be part of a podcast, which is maybe for half an hour or so, running through the kind of passion that you actually have, right from running to NGO work and what are we basically trying to say? Would you be interested in something like that?
Yeah, so do one thing. I will just send me your email, send you some articles of mine which have come, and then you can look at it, and then we'll probably have we'll take the conversation from there.
Sure. Perfect, Rajesh. Perfect. Thanks.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Awesome. Zoom call. Let me start off with the question. So, Anjali, the first question is, how do you know Pankaj and in what context have you spent real time with him?
Okay, so Pankaj and I, we go back a long way. It initially started at work. So I was the person in charge of hiring him into Dell.
Great, okay.
Yeah, but I left Dell before he joined. So I never got to meet him at Dell. And then once we had been invited for dinner, and I was in the lift and I'm saying, oh, I'm forgetting the house number of the people we have to go to. And, there was this guy in the lift and he says, oh, it turned out that we are going to the same place. So Pankaj talks to everyone and I also talk to everyone. So, it was very natural. Then we are sitting at this our friend's house and suddenly he said, are you Anjali Chalisgaonkar? I said, yes. You are the one who hired me into Dell and left before I joined. I said, oh my God, I hope he's happy. Like everything's good with him. So, then we kind of connected over running. And yes, that is where I really got to know him well. And, he's become a close friend.
Sure. Great, Anjali. Now, questions are around ultra running distances. You guys have actually do marathons.
Yeah.
And he leads a complex organization and it's been leading previous leadership roles as in different companies. Do you see any connection between how he runs and how he leads? Or are they two completely separate worlds for him?
I think in some way, it is the basic attitude which, works through both the aspects. It works through every aspect of your life. So one of the things which I find really remarkable about Pankaj is he's very open, he's very curious, he wants to know everything. And he doesn't care whether someone is senior or junior, younger or older. He is interested in knowing everything and, just talking to people and understanding different perspectives and very often trying them out also. So I've seen this in a huge element in his, running life and his attitude towards his health and career, etc., or attitude towards children. I'm sure this permeates into his work also.
Absolutely. I mean, he connects with a cross section of people, Anjali. I've actually
that is right. Yeah.
And what's the kind of qualities that he actually have which helps him to connect to different kind of personalities as such, according to you?
I think one is an openness to talking, openness to listening, openness to understanding someone else's views and not just pushing your views down. I rarely see him pushing his views down. I just see him, it's like a sponge. He will ask everyone's views. So one is openness. With that comes curiosity.
Yeah.
And there's also a degree of humbleness. So when you run or walk with Pankaj or talk with Pankaj, you don't realize that, he's done so well in his corporate professional life.
Yeah.
You don't realize that at all because he's really very humble.
Absolutely.
There's no bragging. He will not be bragging that, I did this, my team did this, my organization did this.
Yes.
It is typically he will be asking more questions and listening a lot.
Absolutely. So coming back to the runs, Anjali, when was the first time that you actually went on a run with him?
Oh, that was long ago. I think around 2007. That is when I started running. So then I used to see Pankaj and gang, all of them would be running and I was into walking. I was not into running. And then at one point I decided, okay, so this is after that dinner where we met and I said, okay, let me run. So I was nowhere near the speed that he used to run, but he and 2-3 other friends were very encouraging. It was a loop. So, every loop that kind of asked me, everything okay with you and all. So, yeah, so that is when I first met him. It would be around, I started running around 2007.
Okay. All right. In terms of moments which actually stayed along with you, is there any one moment or multiple moment of conversations with him that actually stayed with you, Anjali?
So it's quite interesting that you are asking this question. There are multiple moments. So, one is what I've realized. So initially, when we used to run, uh, I could uh, I could not talk. I could only listen. So which worked fine because you need people. The talkers need listeners also. So I had introduced myself, and once we were running, and someone else came and needed my introduction. So I looked at him and he said, "Okay, let me do your introduction." So he recounted all about me to that person. So his ability. So what I took away from this is his ability to uh, remember something about another person is very high, or not only just a person. I think about a lot of things.
Mm.
Then
Absolutely.
I've also seen him tell some uh, difficult things in a very easygoing manner. So that is a thing to be learned. So someone will behave stupidly or whatever, and he'll call it out, but he does it in a very in not in a very low offensive manner. But the message is very clear that this person behaves stupidly. So I think that's a great thing to be able to tell someone that this was not nice. So
Mm.
it is very rare that I had seen him do it, maybe only once. But
Mm.
I have learned from him that he did it so gently
Mm.
that no one minded it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So speaking to some of his friends just earlier, Anjali, and I think Rajesh, who presently stays in Hyderabad, was sharing that sometimes Pankaj is actually more silent, tries to listen more. So
That's
he's
right.
known for listening more than speaking, is what he was saying. But
That's right.
when he does speak, what's the quality of it? Is it precise, poetic, practical, or something else entirely? That's the question.
So one is, I think there is a gentleness to him, and things are very simple. He keeps things simple. There's no faff around it, or no, there's no faff or superficiality around it. And he'd say, "Oh, these are the three main takeaways." So, or these are the five main takeaways. So, one, two, three. So, he
Mm.
simplifies things. And I think that is someone who's able to simplify things. It also shows great clarity of thought.
Absolutely.
So I know a couple of other people
Mm.
who are able to simplify, break down things into the basic two things, three things, and
Mm.
that shows a very good intellect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Does he ever surprise you, Anjali, saying something that completely contradicts what you expect out of him?
Uh, I don't think I can
No? Okay.
count anything like that.
Sure. All right. Now, the legacy angle is if you were to write one paragraph about him for a book, what would it say?
I think I will say that one has to learn his humbleness, his curiosity,
Mm.
and his openness. So I won't write a paragraph. These are the three
Sure.
things which I take away from his personality.
Sure.
He's open to a lot of things,
Mm.
trying out things. He's open, he's humble. It's not that you have to be a senior person or an older person or something. He's
Mm.
ready to learn from anyone.
Absolutely. And what has knowing Pankaj quietly changed in you in how you think, work, or run?
I think one is the ability to live and let live, to learn. These are the two important things.
Sure. Absolutely. I think these were some of the ones, Anjali, I have. Anything specific you remember out of the marathons? Did you run marathons along with him in Bangalore?
No, he runs much faster than me. So normally I run halves and he runs full. So they start at a different time. I start at a different time. I have done only 4 full events and he's much faster than me. So I only run like short periods with him.
Great, great. And anything else you want to say about Pankaj? Anything which I missed
So
out?
I think he's become a close friend, and I'm really happy that he's my friend.
Absolutely, Anjali. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you. I think maybe once I start writing more, right, I might have some
Sure.
more things to clarify. So I'll be in touch. But
Yeah,
I'm aware that I think next 6 weeks you are out of India, I guess, right?
that's right. But you can connect with me on WhatsApp.
Sure.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And just in case I miss a message, just send me a second message.
I'll do it. I'll do it, Anjali. Thanks a lot for your time and have a great journey.
Thank you. Bye.
Sorry. How do you know Pankaj? And in what context have you spent real time with him?
How do I know Pankaj? I didn't hear the second part because your voice is echoing. It's like a, yeah. And I'm not able to pay full attention because I'm also driving, right?
I'm with you.
I was on the highway until about 15 minutes ago.
Oh,
And now I've just entered the city. I'm a little more. Yeah.
okay.
So the first part I know how I know Pankaj, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So Pankaj and I go back more than 20 years.
Wow.
And when he had just arrived in Bangalore,
Hmm.
we finished our first marathon together in 2005 at the Lipton one, the famous Sadhu one.
Oh, you one of the sadhus, sir.
And I was not the Sadhu. I happened to meet him at the finish line. We kind of finished it together.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was also my first marathon.
Right.
So, and it was his first one. So
Hmm.
he just came up and said hi. It seemed very natural after after a grueling run only to say hi to a fellow guy who suffered as much.
Did you have any conversation at all at that point of time?
Yeah, of course. We had a brief conversation and to meet up again.
Hmm.
And I think we exchanged notes of where we stay and all that. So all that, Pankaj is quite good at all that. It so happened that, to my surprise, he lived in the same locality that I live in, which is Koramangala. We had just moved in there.
Okay.
And then he made it a point to keep in touch with me because he had just arrived into the city. He was new
Hmm.
and he was finding his way around.
Hmm.
And this was pre-Google days. So we made a point that, okay, let's all resolve to continue running because we just finished the marathon.
Hmm.
And let's meet up every weekend
Right.
and go do a run.
Hmm.
So I thought it was a very interesting thing that I was anyway running, and so was he, I'm sure.
Right.
But now we had a companion,
Hmm.
so we used to text each other on a Saturday morning.
Right.
We'd have fixed it a day earlier,
Hmm.
and we would meet up in near the BDA complex in Koramangala, and
Right.
then run, just the two of us. And that went on for a good full year.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
every Saturday, that was a great discipline. I think
Mhm.
both of us wanted it,
Right.
and each of us, either of us, were egging each other, and
Hmm.
that was a good start.
Excellent. Excellent. So did you work at the same place or different one?
I just went on. I think I must have met him every weekend from 2005 till at least till 2010, until when I moved out of the locality.
Ah.
And for 5-6 years, we traveled, did a lot of events together,
Mhm.
ran crazy distances,
Mhm.
did the midnight marathon, went out to various parts of Bangalore. Those days on a Sunday, you could take your car out and just drive it to many localities
Right.
and parks and areas without having to think about traffic. How do we get back? How do we go there?
Right.
And he had a vehicle. We used to call it the red bus. So Pankaj was the nice thing about him. He used to pick us up,
Mhm.
and we would all text. We had formed a group on. There was no WhatsApp then, just on SMS,
Right.
and then he would we decide what time I'll first pick up, second pick up, and his whole vehicle would get filled up, and we'd go to Cupboard Park or
Mhm.
any of the other running locations
Right.
and run together.
Mhm.
And yeah, sometimes end up with breakfast. Those days,
Mhm.
breakfast is looked down upon. Oh, we just run and we shouldn't be adding calories right away. But then that soon changed. That became a motivation
Right.
later on. Yeah. So that's the genesis of my friendship with Pankaj, and we still, of course, keep in touch and live in the same locality. And yeah,
Did you work along with him?
no.
Okay.
I run a travel company, so we're poles apart when it comes to our professional life.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, we're good buddies
Mm.
and kept in touch. Even now, I'm not as frequent as him on running.
Mm.
He's very active, but
Right.
we live in the same locality, so we
Mm.
kind of ping each other and want to catch up once in a while, at least once a month or twice a month, and sometimes even more frequently. And
Great.
we do a walk, run, whatever.
Sure. Are there any special moments or conversations with him that have stayed with you?
With Pankaj, the nice thing is, you always come out positive after meeting him. Yeah, every interaction, at least a good smile.
Right.
And that itself is a great takeaway.
Right.
Yeah, there are so many because I've had so many occasions to be doing things together.
Right.
Many of them obviously are running related.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, I think in the first few years, our journey was very similar in
Mm.
the running front. So we were part of a group called the Runners for Life. You might have heard of,
Yeah.
and it had just got formed in the year that we finished the marathon.
Mm.
So all of us decided, okay, that's a good forum to catch up with other fellow runners.
Mm.
It was just beginning to evolve in Bangalore then. And then the Runners for Life guys, Arvind and all,
Mm.
decided to hold their own events, which is the Bangalore Ultra, the Kaveri Trail Marathon. So we
Right.
were all the core group which participated in the first few events that were held across Bangalore. Midnight
Mm.
Marathon.
Wow.
These were all the early running events in 2006-7 onwards.
Mm. Mm.
And then they became an annual affair. So we were there at all of them. Our
Right.
group called Bookam, you already know the acronym,
Right.
got formed
Yeah.
around 2008 when
Mm.
Rishi joined in.
Mm.
And there was this nice, the best part was the diversity of folks.
Mm.
Nobody measured, okay, this group is for these kind of like-minded folks. The only,
Mm.
the common denominator was the love for running.
Right.
And that that's a great phase in our life because
Mm.
you suddenly were able to now making a lot of new friends.
Mm. Mm.
We were all in our mid-30s and all at that time.
Yeah.
It's not easy to make new friends at that age, right? At a
Absolutely.
deep core level. But running is like, you can't sham it. There's no
Mm.
scam there. You
Correct.
can't put up a charade. There's no facade. It's a brutal thing. So
Yeah.
you can't really, there's no pretense there. So you
Mm.
get to know a person at the very, core.
Mm.
And that kind of, it's a great activity that way. So all of us, like, fans of each other,
Mm.
taking on, cheering for each other, and so surprisingly, we thought it would just end at the end of the run.
Mm.
Then it became a social thing, So we all started going out, doing things to families,
Mm.
movies,
Mm.
lunches, dinners, birthday celebrations. So that is a whole new circle of friends,
Right.
that you acquire, which
Mm.
is typically, at least for me, in my case, it is, and I've seen that it's, at a certain, you have school friends, college friends,
Mm.
locality friends, and
Mm.
they're all really take you back to your teenage years, maybe even younger, but to make to have good friends that you who have met in your 30s and 40s. That's a rarity. I still feel it's a rarity. It's nice.
Absolutely.
That
So,
that's a bit of the genesis.
absolutely. Knowing Pankaj, did it quietly change you in some ways, Praveen?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Knowing Pankaj, has it changed anything in you personally?
Me, I already told you. So I always look out. We all look forward to meeting each other because
Mm.
we genuinely enjoy each other's company. I think, and Pankaj definitely is a very positive guy.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, so that's something I think I can say wholeheartedly.
Sure.
And it's always every encounter, if you can call it with them, is always a good one.
Sure.
So we'll either have a run, have a good conversation,
Mm.
discuss anything under the sun.
Mm.
lot of key takeaways from me to him to me. So
Mm.
there's always a nice, never boring.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Never boring. So, and you also, Pankaj is also very, he has this uncanny knack of, just connecting with people. So
Mm.
you end up meeting a lot of people if
Mm.
you're around him.
Yeah.
And that's also very nice. so, so these are, some of the things I can straight away recall. The good
Absolutely.
things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. He's a good listener.
Mm.
You can go up to him for anything, and he'll always come up with a different, interesting perspective.
Mm.
It's all, so that's a bit about,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
some recollections of my time with Pankaj.
Excellent. Excellent. And do you recall the names of people who were there in the first 5 or 10 kind of marathons, 2005, 2007, Praveen, the regular ones?
the core, the group then?
The group, yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I know all the. Although I don't meet them as frequently like we used to.
Hmm.
I know Arvind Krishnan, Rajesh Bachcha,
Hmm.
and Pankaj himself. There was for a brief while Arun Pai before he began his walks.
Hmm.
And there were a lot of. There was the other people like Partha Roy, Rishi Bhasu,
Hmm.
Meher Dumello,
Right.
Amrita Mitra,
Hmm.
and Pratik Mehta. Later on Shantanu, then later on Siddharth. That's
Hmm.
all much later. But
Sure.
I'm talking of 2005, 6, 7, 8.
Right.
I think we were. I mean, I was. I'm still very close to him,
Hmm.
but I think Pankaj really leaned on me a lot in that early days
Right.
because you would say, Praveen, I'm going here, man. I don't know how to go there. Can you tell me the directions? And suddenly I'll get a call. We stay in the same locality, right? You know what? And he's very. What I liked about him, he'll be having his Innova. I get a call suddenly. You know what? My car just stopped in the middle of the road. I think I've run out of gas. Can you please come over? I've actually done that, okay?
Oh,
And
wow.
you say, Ravi, you know what? My driver says the tires are bald. Do you think I should have? Can you have a look and let me know if the knobs are still good enough, or should I change it? It's nice. Nobody asks these things normally,
Yeah.
and for him it was, so every time, and you would happily, go out of your way and, help him out or whatever you call it. So it
Sure.
was nice, So you'll end up having a chat. We'll have a coffee and
Hmm.
so many other conversation over while all this is getting fixed. So all the early recollections are. I'll be in the middle of something. I'll get a call. I need to go to this place, Symphony software. It seemed to be somewhere near this road. Can you just guide me? I'm here right now near the football stadium. I said, oh damn. Okay, you don't go this way and go that way. I'm a native Bangalore. I've been here all my life. So I was the go-to person, I think, for some time with it for him. Okay, so that's an interesting recollection. So he wants to buy a cycle for his little daughter. I don't know where to go. This is all pre, Google and all, or rather, where it's still sketchy to go search online and find out where to get it, right?
Yeah.
So, and you rely on trusted sources, somebody who knows. So we'll all make it an event. Get his daughter, another two friends, and I'll tell him, let's go towards this place. I know this Madras Cycle Company, which I bought a cycle when I was a 12-year-old. Now let's get your 5-year-old daughter a cycle there. Then just go ahead and have fun.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That was very hilarious. So it's crazy things like this,
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
traveling to events, that was good fun. He had a rule back then. So he used to go out and run out of Bangalore.
Right.
His logic was simple. I'm not going to go out for a 2-hour run, and I'm not going to travel 4 hours to do that. So his thinking was very interesting. He stuck to that. I said, Pankaj, you're going to miss out Mumbai Marathon and all. I used to go and run. I've been running that event since 2005. One of the first early Bangaloreans to do that.
Right.
So I said, I'm going there next year. I'm going there next year. No, I can't do that, Ravi. I said, why? No, my funda is very clear. If it's a 2-hour run, I will not travel more than 2 hours to for the event. But after a few years, he broke all those rules. Now he's one of the most regular guys to travel and run, especially Delhi and Bombay and all that. Yeah, so that's an interesting. But he'll call you and check you how was the event. I'll be in a local in Mumbai after finishing the run. You'll get an update. Yeah. And there, of course, we traveled again together. Once he also saw the merit of, going out, and it became a social event. We all ran together, had fun together. And that is, I think they still do it. I have logged out.
Are you staying in Bangalore or have you moved out?
No, I'm very much, I stay in Koramangala, but I run a travel company. I'm not running like earlier as long distances. I run regularly, but not marathons and all that. Whereas he has continued to. Yeah.
Now, Pankaj has this unique ability to connect to different people, Praveen. Very different people as such. What's the kind of quality that he has which helps him to connect, according to you?
What is the kind of
qualities that he has which helps him to connect to a large section of people?
See, he's a very down-to-earth guy. He doesn't distinguish status or age, gender. He's the kind of person who'll just go up to you and start a conversation. It's a great ability, and we'll be walking, and then suddenly somebody will be coming on the other direction, who's also probably a walker. I said, hey, come on, join us. You wouldn't. Normal people don't do that. But he does it in a way that is endearing, and more often than not, those people will agree. So that's a great quality, And he does it in a very natural way. It's not like posed or written. It's a Pankaj way of doing things. I've seen it many times, Yeah. So that's very nice, So and he's always people reach out to him, so he's always introducing people, making them join this, and he'll find someone having some common things. He'll do the introduction, So that's nice, I mean, it's not like somebody asked for it. It's just that because the sheer number of people, I think he had encounters in his walk of life. So he finds if I find somebody has got some similarity, he just tells you, what, I met this guy. I think you guys should catch up. That's nice, Yeah. That's a rare quality, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's done in a very natural way. It's like, it's just like, what, I met somebody, I think you should just catch up, finish. And he'll make it a point, call you, or that person will call you. You're already spoken about you. I just heard about you from Pankaj. I said, what do you hear? So that's cool.
Absolutely.
So basically, there's nothing that he carries on his shoulders or what he does in life or all his achievements. It's all, he doesn't care for it, which is very good. I think we're all kind of similar that way. The group that you call Ukam, it's a running group, but all of them are good. Many of them are very good runners, of course, but it's not a serious running group. Although people are crazy, they run a marathon, a half marathon every day. There are such guys. But there are other running groups in the city too, who are very focused, goal oriented. And this is the last group which is goal oriented is this one. Because that's the fun part. Honestly, And that's the fun part. You just do your own thing, enjoy your ride, your journey, and good things will happen. Don't chase goals like timing. Let them happen as they are. So that's a good. My philosophy of life is also like that. His is also like that. And you surprise yourself many a time with what you end up doing.
Yeah.
Without it being forced, just because out of the sheer joy of doing it. So that way, I think all of us have inspired each other,
Yeah.
and that's I think everyone values that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I value it. I'm sure he values it. So that's a shared
Absolutely.
thing.
I mean, you shared a lot of things, Praveen, right from 2005 onwards, in terms of the kind of marathons and the kind of person that Pankaj is and the kind of people who are actually around him as well. I don't have any more questions, but anything else you want to share with your relationship with Pankaj? Anything specific you want to share? Just open. Anything else you want to share on Pankaj? You shared a lot, which I'll be putting it part of it.
Yeah, I think I said a lot. What else? Yeah. So, what else can I say about him apart from what I've said already? Yeah, I know his family, children, daughters. I have daughters too. So whenever we catch up, we discuss that. I know his wife too. We'll catch up too.
Sure.
I think I pretty much covered.
Perfect.
A lot about Pankaj, and I'm sure others would have said somewhat similar things.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So he's a good runner. I have to tell you, Pankaj is an unusual runner. He doesn't train. He stayed almost all this 20 years fairly injury free. There are phases when he's runs extremely fast. A marathon is not like some big achievement for him. It's like it's par for course. You anyway running, you might as well finish it. So that attitude is that non-challenge attitude is very good. I'm sure it rubs off on a lot of other guys too.
Sure.
Many of us are like that, but with Pankaj, he has continued to be that way. And that's an interesting quality to have. It's most people are. And he'll probably run faster than people who really train.
Right. Yes.
with like hardly any training. That could be very perplexing or frustrating to the guys who have actually put in a lot of effort.
Yes.
But for him, it's another day out on his feet. So that's a nice thing.
Perfect.
How do you happen to know Pankaj?
No, I worked at Wells Fargo for some time.
Okay.
So I was in Hyderabad and he was in Bangalore. We had just one call of around 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then last year I went to Bangalore to meet him. So I met him just once. But I do this video podcast on LinkedIn and YouTube. So he's come over a lot of times. So that's how I made the connect with him.
Nice. No, he has very good perspectives. It's good to have him on a panel. He'll always say things that you don't it's not the predictable things. That's a nice thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's always good, a refreshingly different take.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And very grounded. And more often than not, he's quite sure about whatever he's saying.
Absolutely.
And more often than not, it is from his personal, life that he takes out anecdotes.
Correct.
And which is very nice, it's very useful, I'm sure, for a lot of youngsters, especially.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
So, Praveen, I've recorded this. I'll put this part of the book. I'll share the draft also maybe later on. But if I have any questions in terms of the marathons and stuff like that, I'll ping you and then maybe we can get on a call. Short one. Later on.
Yeah. The draft that you have shared, I had read it.
You have read it.
Pankaj did send it to me 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I was busy with things. He said, if you have any pictures or anything that you want to add, let me know, Praveen. So he had texted me. Sure. Ideally, that point of time I was caught up.
Sure.
I thought maybe it's better to talk it out than write it out. It's good that you picked me and here we are.
Absolutely. So any pictures you have, if you can share?
Yeah. There's one famous picture of us together in front of Vidyarthi Bhavan in with a with an umbrella. I think I'll try to locate that. He probably has one too.
Sure.
I think a lot of people are very familiar with that picture because it was a very funny incident.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. There are many, of course, pictures. With
Sure.
Pankaj, you'll end up having plenty of pictures. If I find something interesting and which is probably that is just unique to me and him, I'll give it to you.